Well, we are getting closer and closer to finding out the final verdict to the Sean P. Diddy Combs case because the jury has came back with a partial verdict and they still hung up on the main one, the RICO charge.
Good afternoon. There is information coming in right now. I want to read you exactly the note from Alice Gaynor. WCBS is in the courtroom. She said, "We have reached a verdict on counts 2, 3, 4, 5, unable on count 1. That is that racketeering conspiracy." Again, this is what the note said. And it also said, have jurors with unpersuadable opinions, that they have jurors with unpersuadable opinions. Another note just came in from Alice Gaynor, and she said that the prosecution wants them to continue to deliberate. Says modified Allen charge, putting together a proposal. Defense says it's our request you tell the jury to keep deliberating. We will not take the partial verdict. Only been deliberating a day and a half. Don't think we need modified Allen charge. Tell them receive their note. Judge says, do you request I bring jury out to provide instruction? Defense says, yes, bring them out. This is happening in real time. 55-year-old Shawn Combs, as you know by now, is facing up to life in prison on that racketeering conspiracy charge. He's also charged with 2 counts of sex trafficking for the sex trafficking of his former ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, and a woman who went by the pseudonym of Jane. There is also account for transportation to engage in prostitution. But again, right now, all that we know, according to this note, is that they have reached a verdict on all of the counts except for one. It is unclear what will happen next. I'm literally reading these notes as they're happening. The judge said that there are 3 options. First, the defense's proposal, jury should keep at it, some version of the Allen charge, and that at some point case law indicates the court should advise them their ability to have partial verdicts. But I don't think we're at that stage yet.
Well, there you have it. 2, 3, 4, and 5, they are all in agreement on. But the one that the prosecution want them to be on the same page, the RICO charge, oh, they have a difference of opinion. I said this the other night on one of our other podcasts, Two Cigars in a Blunt. I believe that the prosecution overreached when they went for the RICO charge. I I haven't seen anything in the news outlet or anything anybody has been reporting on to make me think that Puffy was running a RICO, a continuous enterprise. I didn't see that. Even some of the other charges that they are agreement on, 2, 3, 4, and 5, I don't see how he's guilty on those as well. Now, don't get me wrong. If Puffy was being charged with domestic violence, oh, Puffy was done. Oh, we saw the video. Yeah, yeah. But this is not a domestic violence case. The prosecution is trying to put Puffy away for the rest of his life, and they overreached. I believe that their true intent was to embarrass this man because he got too big for his britches, like the old folks used to say. So I believe they had to put him back in their place. And they did that because the government should not be in your bedroom. Now, like I said earlier, if this was a domestic violence case, oh, you got Puffy dead to rights. But he can't be guilty on being a freak. And that's what it boils down to. The freaky dicky shit that he was doing is what got Puffy on trial. And the prosecution, oh, let's give it, let's try to go a little bit further. Let's reach for the RICO because this type of person should not be on the goddamn street. And they overreach. Now, I want to know how this is going to work. You know, if they found him guilty on, let's say if they found him guilty on the other charges, all right, is he going to go to jail for that? Or if they can't find him guilty on the first charge, is it going to be a hung jury and they have to do this all over again?
Can you explain a little bit more about, just for those of us who don't do what you do every single day? I'm familiar with a hung jury, but you seem to be saying that the judge has some options here and that this may not be the end of the story. Can you just explain that a little more precisely?
Of course, when you have a federal jury or you have a jury, you want to have a unanimous opinion and decision about guilty or not guilty. And we do not yet know what that is. But jurors can sometimes say, we've reached an impasse. We haven't made up our minds. We are essentially stalled on this particular charge. And the judge may say, have you done all that you can to ensure that you have considered all the elements, that you've weighed all of the considerations, that everyone has reached their final conclusion? At that point, which is called an Allen charge, the jury might say, you know what, Your Honor, we haven't actually thought of that. We can give it one more try. Or they might very well say, Your Honor, we're coming to you about the rest of them because this is the one that we are hopelessly deadlocked on. No additional time is necessary or will yield any alternate conclusion, a unanimity, or a decision. So now the judge has to deal with that. If that's the case, if this jury says that we are officially hung on one charge and we have a verdict on the rest, well, the prosecution, who has the burden of proof and will always have a burden of proof in a trial, as they should, will have a discussion among themselves. Do they insist that they go back again and deliberate, or do they learn the verdict on the rest of the remaining charges?
Now, I wonder what's going to happen because, like she said in the piece, the defense and the prosecution wants the judge to have them go back and deliberate a little bit more to come back with a final decision. Then I believe it goes into the prosecution hand. What are they going to do? Are they going to retry Puffy if it is a hung jury to find 12 new jurors to try to find him guilty on that RICO charge? Or if they found him guilty on 2, 3, 4, and 5, are they going to be satisfied to send him in jail on that? I don't know how it works. If he's not found on the most serious charge, can they still put him in jail for the other ones? If somebody somebody listen to this video, if you do know, let me know because I'm kind of lost in that aspect of it. But the most serious charge, the RICO, like I said earlier, I had an issue with it. I don't think that Puffy was running a continuous criminal enterprise. Like I said, I have issue with the sex trafficking part because those young men and women were of age and they was willing participants in the action. Those workers who came willingly across state line to engage in the freak off were of age and they did it to get paid. The distribution of narcotics, you know, those men and women took it willingly. So I have an issue with all of that because these are consenting adults and they know what they are truly doing. Now, the only person that's coming out ahead of this on top is Cassie. Cassie got $20 million from Puffy. She got $10 million from the hotel. So that's $30 million. And when you listen to some of the texts and some of the messages, Cassie basically wanted some of the freak offs. So if you ask me, she should be sent by Puffy on trial and we get a better understanding of how really their relationship was. Like I said earlier, I'm not saying that Puffy is guilty or non-guilty. I'm just going by the evidence that I have heard about, and I don't see it. I don't see it at all. But if it was a domestic violence case, oh yeah, Puffy gone. But I believe that they trying to embarrass him, which they did. They want to put him back in his place, which they did. And they want to get him off the street for the rest of his life. And the jury is saying, hey, we have two differences of opinion, and we don't know if we could come to a unanimous decision to give the prosecution what they want. So y'all let me know that in the comments what y'all think about them coming back with a partial verdict, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and them still be hung up on the first one, the RICO, in the comments below.